problem with the 70s was it was just utterly awful. The dominant sort of lad culture, football, sideburns, flares. When punk came along and did something different and people were outraged, it was fantastic.
Why did we do this, Jonty?
I don't know now. Well, you know, you came to me, Matt, you came and interviewed me, didn't you? So, came and interviewed me, asked loads of questions about punk rock, and then said, do you know anyone else? And I said, yeah, I can find you some more people. Lots of different venues taking part, lots of bands playing, and very proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I quite liked about it, I think, was the fact that from that conversation with you, led me to think, all right, I can write something about punk in Norwich, which was the fanzine. And then from that you thought, we can do some events that can kind of make this more than just a kind of paper record of something, but an actual kind of living people's history, a history from below.
Lanes is where I used to hang out. That's where the Norwich punks hung out. And word spread across the eastern counties that you could go there as record shops and you'd be safe, because if you walked any other part of the city, you'd get beaten up. Some of those shopkeepers, the chip shop is still in the same family's hands, head in the clouds. They used to let us sit on their doorsteps and didn't tell us off, do you know what I mean? So, to me, it just shows what I firmly believe, and I keep preaching, that Norwich Lanes is the best urban village in the UK.
My name is Philip Brown, owner and proprietor of Philip Brown Menswear. The reason why I joined in with the punk trail is because of the length of time that I've sold Vivienne Westwood as a stockist. These are all original pieces. The image of God Save the Queen still as powerful as ever. God Save the Queen, she ain't no human being. The swastika destroy t-shirts, if you delve deeper into the story, it's actually anti-fascism. The images are shocking, and that's what it was all about. It was a do-it-yourself cult. So whether you like punk or dislike punk, what Westwood done in effect was to allow anybody to be anybody they wanted.
All the shops that have taken part have earned money, new revenues that they wouldn't have normally done, which is really, really exciting for me, because that's what I want to do. There's all great stories, and then the People's side, obviously it's the first punk club in Norwich, but it's also a Northern Soul club.
Yeah.
So everyone's going in trying to buy it. It was given to me, it's not for sale. But what's nice about it is the soul boys and the punks who used to fight now recognise that there's one thing they can all agree on, that sign is brilliant.
Bits of fanzines, posters, tickets, and just tons of it has come up. And the people have kept those for a reason, because they meant something to them.
But that's the reality, all these things are just hidden away, and some of them in perfect condition.
Some of these things that were worn were shocking, deliberately shocking, because that was the point. You know, I was threatened so many times, or knocked over so many times, and as were many people who wore the stuff. People found it disturbing or threatening. That's sort of partly the fun of it, but I don't know why it should be fun. I mean, it was just to shake people up a bit, I think, you know. Sunglasses were given to me by Captain Sensible. Everyone was just mixing in a bar, and we had a game of bar billiards and a drink or two, and he said, "Oh, have these," you know. The posters, I think most of those I badgered the people who used to work in Ace Records in Lowgate Lane for them. And that was the regular place where I'd meet up with friends and listen to new stuff.
The music was the first and foremost, you know, because that's what we had in those days.
Life kicks in, the sun drips down and the shadows flick like knives.
You know, you you liked music or you sort of fixed motorbikes or something. So yeah, went for the music, and it was just so exciting and terrifying as well, you know, because it was violent times and there was always something kicking off at the gigs, so it could be really, you know, there was that element of fear and excitement.
I worked at Bax Records from 15 till I came to open up Soundclash here in St Benedict Street in '91. So I've seen, you know, punk rock turn into to rap, to hip hop, to funk, to soul, to reggae, two-tone mod ska going off on that way. Then you had like metal, which was like more hardcore metal coming out of there, and then you had like rockabilly turn into psychobilly. So all these different subcultures were all going, and it's all extreme versions of what was already there, you know, and it's all influenced by punk rock itself, and that was the explosion.
Maybe it's 'cause I'm wiser and older, but I don't stop looking over my shoulder. On my own, I'm an easy proposition with a little bit of something, turn it to sedition.
Steve Ignorant, who lives on the North Norfolk coast, is exhausted, you know, wants a bit of time off, and comes along and does a show like last night. Those little moments are exactly what it felt like back in the day. There was enough excitement around. We didn't really know what to expect.
It wasn't a nostalgia fest. It was about saying this is where we've come to.
Yeah, I loved the music. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And you know when it was sweating enough.
I'm connected to the trail just by the fact that I took lots of pictures in the 1970s, and we suddenly discovered all these pictures of Norwich punks standing around in Pottergate, relaxing outside record shops.
I'm a teacher and a photographer, and I carried my camera everywhere, and I took a lot of photos on the streets of Norwich. It turned out that they were sort of great models. They didn't seem to mind having me around and allowed me to do what I wanted, pretty much.
I mean, obviously there's a lot of gig photos taken back in the day, but less of the people on the streets. So I think it makes them even more precious and even more kind of interesting. It's historical artefacts. And there's one of me over there, so I go, wow, how young I look. Yeah.
It's really nice to watch the people pointing at themselves in all these pictures and going, oh my God, look what I looked like when I had hair. And yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, a lot of the blokes doing that, like I can't have a moe anymore because I'm bald. Yeah.
We've all got no hair or grey hair or beer guts, and you know, completely different. But I think most people have still got the attitude and still like the music. I don't think that really goes away. It hasn't for me.
I mean, certainly I might have more of a mature head, but I'm still living it. I'm still doing exactly what I did back then. I mean, I go to a place called the Owl Sanctuary in Norwich, and I love the buzz of the place. But the only thing is I could be the dad of most of the people that go in there. It's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm 50, 54, and I'm supposed to be staying in with me slippers and me pipe or something. And I refuse to do that. I go to these punk festivals and I wear Spice Girls t-shirts just to...
It was us in some ways against the Straights. Straights had all the nightclubs. It was us that just had the little gala or the little jackards, and I don't know about anyone else, but I felt quite precious about it. If anyone straight came in, it's like, you've got 12 nightclubs up there, you know, this is ours, get off.
My punk days were from about 1984 onwards, so I just miss those early days. Being an outcast and being a black sheep and never ever feeling like I fitted in with anybody, I can completely buy into it now from other people's experiences and from the photos and the words that are written in this fanzine, because we have to have connection in our lives, and if we don't have that, we are nothing.
I'd like to be able to, get a website going where you can search by place, by name, by address, by gig, by year, and I think if we do that, it's going to be pretty special as part of social history. But I think once we archive every single bit and you get the stories, I mean, I like the idea of the Teddy boys who hated us. I'd like to interview them.
Yeah.
And say, why did you want to hit me all the time? Do you know what I mean? I think there's very good reasoning to find out why and explain to people why people acted like that.
The whole point was to make a people's history, a history from below. By setting up the website, it allows it to not just be rooted in 1976, 77, but for people who've continued with punk in all its various guises and influences to kind of add to a a bigger and a evolving story which will carries on, as we know, into the 21st century.
It's about being lost in the West End of London. I said we weren't going to repeat anything.